A pleasant good morning, my friends. This is your truly Javed Mamni. This is your program, my friend, called the Heart on Sunday, the 18th of September 2016. It's a pleasure being back with you all, my friends. And I not too long eat, and right now I'm in a really sleepy mood, so let's bear with me, my friends. And a lot of you all probably want to know where was Javed Mamni all along for these past 2 weeks. But my friends, I went away on a little vacation to Fort Lauderdale, and I must say, I had an amazing trip. It was truly fantastic. And I would like to take this time before I get to the essence of the day to really thank those who made the trip a memorable one for me, including my cousin Imran, my uncle Asho, my dad's sister Handy Cyber, my cousin Alicia. They took me out, and I really enjoyed myself. And Ruana, my good friend, who was up there also on vacation, and she took me out also. And I promise you, my friend, that soon I'll be sponsoring you. Of course, you're truly young. As life is all about togetherness. It's all about enjoying yourself with your loved ones. And life is really too short, my friends. Because, and also, there's so much I'm thankful for also. Before I forget, I want to thank Caribbean Airlines, and the flight attendant and staff, they treated me with such courtesy, and that is what it's all about. It's all about, customer service. In the airport, Piaco International Airport and Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood International Airport, very, very, very professional, very, very, the mining officer, he told me, not to smile, I like, sir, I can't help it, I just love to smile because, to me, life is all about togetherness. And, we need to take example when we go to these institutions and stuff and how they talk to you and stuff. It really is how you treat people, and, when I went away, it really, it gives me a whole, and it's why I'm doing all this thank yous and stuff. It really gives you a whole new meaning to life. I like to thank those who really made it, and, a memorable, adventure for me, So I really had a good time, and, my friend, what is very interesting is, in our own land, we just complain for a lot of things. But other countries, especially in its economic times, has it worse than us. But what I realize is that in terms of, because I've been listening to the news, or because I've been following updates of what's been going on in my beloved nation, and I am really shocked. I'm really appalled because I hear parents complaining about too much school books, and I'm like, you shouldn't have education, right? That is your child to mine, right? You made that child. God gave you that gift. Right? To be that parent role, right? By loving and caring for your child, so that your child can grow up to be a successful individual, right? And you complain about too much school books. So how do you expect the children to learn? Because right now in Florida, right, there's an institution that they had to shut down the institution, right? And the fact of the matter is students right now have to transfer, right? And it's affecting their lives because, in terms of, getting jobs and stuff. So they had to start from scratch, and they were notified last minute. So when we complaining down here about, too much school books, I mean, to me it's really appalling, right? We have GATE education, right? And the Ministry of Education. So let's give back a little. Because not everything is free. Because that is our problem too. We have this syndrome of the gimme attitude, and that, my friend, needs to stop. And that is why we cannot depend on our government for everything. Like the other day, we see on the news um, roads being fixed, and the citizens, the community in that area complaining. And I'm like, are we for real in this country? Are we for real? And you can see how frustrated the minister felt. You know, and a lot of people saying that she was rude, and I didn't hear no obscene, you know. I didn't, you know, and the fact of the matter is, really and truly, it takes, you know, when you're an MP, it takes a lot, even from your own salary, right? So we must we must not be selfish. We must have respect for those in authority and look at things from their perspective also. Because in life, my friends, we cannot be selfish. I commend the minister, I commend the MP for efforts. Because when they do good, we must commend them. And when they do wrong, we must speak out, my friends. Right? Because right now in our land, all we need is development if we really and truly want to improve our economy. Right? When I was away, and you see the infrastructure, you see, you know, the flow of traffic. You want to know why? It's because there's more infrastructure. So when you pave the roads, and they are the roads looking nice, and you have things like interchange, you know, it helps the economy. It attracts tourists more, right? So when you see development going in the area, do not make noise, right? Whatever, do not make noise. Be grateful for it, or whatever concerns you have. There's a process. There's a way that you handle. And if you feel like you're being ignored, if you feel like you're being ignored numerous times, and the reasons are valid, right? Then feel free to protest, but do not be ignorant, right? When for donkey years, right, your area been neglected, and now you're finally getting the roads. Because in our country, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. And that's why we are such a backward nation, my friend. We are such a backward nation because when we complain for the little things in life, it takes away from these serious issues, right? Especially in headlines in the news. I mean, look at this incident with this guy who got caught for trying to lure a 11-year-old girl, and that is why we need to deal with the protection of our children, of women, right? And I commend the mother, right? I'm seeing comments such as, you know, she's making if she had been charged for making a citizen's arrest. I would like to appeal to the government of Trinidad and Tobago. If you really want to deal with crime, let us give those authority. If someone entered your premises unlawfully, that citizen has a right to make an arrest. Maybe we should look into that. Because when we call the police stations, it's either they have no jeep, no one is available, all kind of excuse. You're calling, no answer. So it's better we this is not try to be go, right? We take that stand and turn it we lawfully, in a lawful manner, right? Like when our mother do in a very lawful manner. I'm not asking anyone to break the law. Let me get that straight, right? And you call the police, and the police come because you know if we wait till the police arrive, you could be killed. You could be killed, so nothing wrong in defending yourself, right? Nothing wrong in defending yourself because you do not want to be killed, right? So we need to work on that. We need to work on our DNA legislation and there's a proper evidence, proper trace, you know, to catch the perpetrators who want to do such heinous crime, sick-minded individuals, right? And we need tough laws to put in place to deal with such individuals, right? I'm calling on parents, right? I commend the mother and the child in having that, you know, strong bond, because that's what it takes, my friend. Communication, and that's what is missing in these families. Communication, my friends. So I like to commend that mother and daughter. I would like to commend the police also, who made the arrest, who saw it fit not to arrest the mother but the perpetrator. Because you know in our country we are very backward, right? So you know, but there's a lot of cleaning up to do in our land. There's a lot of cleaning up to do. And I'm very concerned. I am very concerned when I'm seeing, and when when we talk about democracy, we are such backward in our nation because a certain host, right? A certain host who has a crime show, right, was taken off the air, right, because he raised concerns. He was talking about allegations, and the fact of the matter is, if you're bringing up allegations on your program, you need to back up your facts, right? As much as we like corruption to be exposed, you need to have your facts, and if you do not have your facts, then you have no purpose on being in here, and that is how I see it. Right, and that is why I call on Media Association, I call on the government of Trinidad and Tobago, right, I call on the lawyers to really come together to make a compromise and position so each can state his case. They need proper dialogue, proper monitoring of media programs, and really, it needs to be a case on exactly what should be on here or what not should be on here, on journalist ethics, right? And so that journalists and through the lawyers, they can be a compromising position so that there will be a sense of respect for democracy and everybody will feel free to express your opinion, right? So we need to work on these things, my friend. We need to work on our crime situation. We need to work on our laws, right? We need to work on corruption, democracy, right? We need to work on even our health institutions. I see that the Ministry of Health is putting programs in place. I heard the minister in terms of the whole Zika and even in terms of littering and stuff to start charging those who litter. And the minister was right. The government cannot do everything. It takes a neighborhood to really take care of itself. So when you see littering, you take it upon yourselves and clean up your area, clean up the beaches, clean up. We need to be productive, and that is why our youth are trying to make us feel so lazy because we haven't taught them about being productive, right? And that is why our youth is attracting themselves in a life of crime, right? We need to put programs in place, my friend. We need to start taking responsibility for our own actions, my friends. For our own actions, and there's a lot can be done in our country. And I understand that budget is coming up and more money is being spent, but there's no sense. Budget after budget, there's no sense of accountability, and that is why I'm calling on the Ministry of Finance, right? The Minister of Finance to please hold a special seminar, right, and account and tell us, for the last budget. Because you cannot be coming into Parliament with a new budget with billions of dollars and, there's no confidence. We are not seeing value for money. We are not seeing value for money and issues keep piling up, right? So, and even although I'm talking about the opposition, really and truly, because when I saw that whole the factor issue, and with the bill, that the fact that to deal with U.S. citizens, instead of more money laundering and stuff, when I look at that issue, it's very disturbing because it can hurt relationships with banks and and we did citizens of our nation, we deal with international banks in terms of if you want to get US currency and stuff, and the government is passing a bill that the last government drafted a note to cabinet, and now this government is doing it, and now the opposition is crying foul. And it really disturbs me, and that's why we are such a backward nation. We're really a backward nation. Because when it's time to do the right thing, we want to do the wrong thing, right? We quick to backtrack, and that is the way our country feels. That is very full, my friend. That is very full. So if we really want things to improve, there needs to be a pattern of structure where the important, we need to know where the important issues lie and deal with it upfront, in a really upfront manner. And no one, we need this, that is another why I must say, even though I'm critical of this government, right? And keep in mind, I voted for this government based on a one Rowley campaign, right? Which was very nasty. But it's something I'll never forget under the last government. We this is not trying to be go, but always hold them accountable for that, right? And I am very good, and even though I voted for the government, I am very critical of them because I do not believe in being blind. I do not believe in being one-sided. I seize it and once I see wrong, I speak out against it, right? So I am very, but one thing I must admire the Minister of Finance and no nonsense approach, especially when it comes to dealing with the opposition and the tactics, because really and truly it's becoming sickening and it's becoming really annoying and it's holding our country into ransom. Really and truly, we citizens are trying to be almost calling the opposition to be more responsible. To really, but I don't mind you holding this present administration accountable, but support what is right, do what is right, and we can do it without the bacchanal and confusion, right, and the whole tit for tat from government to opposition, right. There needs to be a compromising position, my friends, right, and this present administration needs to also account to. It needs to account to because you can't be spending billions of dollars, crime, health, and we still see the issues, we still see outstanding issues. And when you look at a girl, and that's something I want to bring up before I forget, going through depression, if some post-depression, sorry I cannot remember the name, right, depression, after pregnancy, I see the Minister of Health is going to put programs in place and so really and truly, our women, and I would like to reiterate, our women, daughters need to feel protected, right? God bring them here, right? In terms of the huge, when you look at a woman in terms of her huge sacrifices, in terms of labor, you must appreciate that, my friends. You must appreciate when you look at sewing, when you look at, women sewing, we must appreciate the little things. And we must teach our sons how to treat a woman. So let us be an example and really protect our women as a woman deserves to be loved and appreciated and cherished, my friends. Right, my friends, let's be examples so our sons, can grow up to be a gentleman. And there will be no sense of breakdown in terms of family structure. When you look at abuse cases and you look at sexual abuse cases and physical abuse cases, you name it, against women, and women do not get a sense of justice. No, they don't get a sense of counseling, right? I call on all the bodies, the religious, the government, the business sector, to come together and let us help our women. Let us help the community. Let us help the nation to grow, to be to be not only a loving but productive and safe society. And let us make an example to our children, my friends. Because our children is the future, to the next generation, my friends. So, my friends, I have outlined, all the critical issues, that I've been following while I was on my vacation. And my heart continues to break, my friend. It continues to bleed of what I'm seeing, right? But because we have all these solutions, but in terms of action, I am not seeing it, right? And I call on the police service to please play that great role. God gives you a gift. God gives you a talent to save lives, to protect this nation and to be go, right? And do it with your utmost best, right? To protect this nation and to be go, so that we all may feel confident. So that when we go out, we don't have to watch our backs. We can spend time with our families, family structure, you name it. I call on even the healthcare or doctors and nurses to play that greater role, get back to the community by taking care of the sick, taking care of the elderly, right? And it'll make you a better person, my friends. And most important, blessings from the Almighty. Because once you do good, good will always come back to you. Always remember that, my friends. So, my friends, I really can't afford to be too long, but there's so much I had to say, and I feel very emotional when I'm seeing my beloved nation. I will continue to pray, my friends. Last night I went to chill. I thank God for bringing me back home safely to my loved ones, as I miss everyone dearly. Right, and I appreciate and love them all. I love you all for all your support. You know, I did ads on Facebook, and the response I've been getting is tremendous. I'd like to thank all those who like the fan page for It's of the Heart. Yeah, go on the fan page It's of the Heart and like it. Support, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And let us make this program, an awareness, a campaign to really change the hearts and minds and really make this nation a really great place. So where tourists can look at our country and we want to come and visit our country and feel that warmth, feel that embracement. So when they go back to their homeland, they can boast about this country and it will help in terms of economy, my friends. So forget about me. This is not about me. This is about changing the hearts and minds in terms of awareness, my friends, so that we can all be better individuals, my friends. So, my friends, I thank you all for viewing. May the Almighty God bless each and every one of you. And remember that through the Almighty, all good things are possible, my friends. So, I thank you, and God bless. Take care.